Bassey, who had always loved the idea of marriage, believed that all marriages were like romantic comedies where couples laugh together, cook together, and share everything, including passwords and secret dreams. But what he got was Arit, a woman who once gazed into his eyes with love, but now only gazed into her phone screen with devotion. When they first married, Arit was warm and present. She would ask about his day, massage his shoulders after work, and they would lie in bed talking until sleep claimed them. But ever since that small device called iPhone entered their bedroom, Bassey lost his wife completely to an invisible crowd of strangers who lived inside the screen. Every morning, even before saying good morning, Arit would reach for her phone like it was oxygen itself. She would scroll through TikTok, watching dance videos, comedy skits, even makeup tutorials. She wouldn't even turn to say good morning. Bassey would greet her while he dressed up for work. Good morning, my love. But she would only raise one finger, as if to say, wait, while watching a video of someone pouring garri. Even during breakfast, her phone would be propped up against the sugar container, playing videos, while her tea got cold and Bassey ate alone, chewing his food and listening to strangers' laughter coming from her device. The worst part was bedtime. Bassey would come to bed, ready to gist about his day or simply hold his wife. But Arit would already be under the covers with her phone, held high above her face, scrolling endlessly. The blue light would illuminate her face, as if she was watching sacred visions. Sometimes, Bassey would try to cuddle her, but she would say, baby, wait. She would shift. Let me just finish this one video. But that one video was like a never-ending river, because 1 turned to 20 and 20 turned to 200. And until suddenly it was 4 a.m. and Arit would still be wide awake, giggling at a stranger doing comedy while her marriage waited. And Bassey had gotten tired, hugged his pillow and slept off. Now, the funny thing was that Arit treated her TikTok account like it was a newborn baby. In fact, she nursed it with so much care than she showed her husband. Every day, she would spend hours creating content, rehearsing dance steps in the sitting room, trying different angles for her videos, and checking her fellow accounts more frequently than she checked if there was actually food in their house. Bassey used to joke that if the house was on fire, Arit would grab her ring light and tripod before grabbing him. And each time he said it, she would laugh and reply, don't worry, baby, I will tag you in my rescue video. How ironic. Things got worse when Arit started treating their marriage like content material. One day, Bassey came home tired from work, his shirt soaked with tears, looking forward to a cold bath and warm food. But instead of greeting him properly, Arit jumped in front of him with her phone recording, screaming, babe, let's do this dance challenge. Do this dance challenge with me. It's trending, no. Bassey stood there confused, looking at the camera while Arit tugged at his arm. He tried to say he was tired, he was exhausted. Before he could say jack, she had already started the music and was pulling him into frame. The video came out horrible, Bassey looking like a confused goat, while Arit danced energetically. She still posted it with the caption, when Bae is not feeling the vibe, and strangers in the comment section were laughing at him, calling him an old man. Another time, Bassey had prepared a romantic dinner for the anniversary. He cooked jollof rice himself, bought wine, and even wore the shirt Arit loved the most. But when he called her to the table, Arit spent exactly 30 minutes arranging the food at different angles, taking photos and videos for TikTok before the food got cold. By the time she finally sat down to eat, Bassey had lost his appetite. He watched her take one spoon and then pick up her phone again to check how many likes the post was getting. She didn't even notice when tears formed in Bassey's eyes. She didn't even compliment all his efforts, even the taste of the food. Her obsession started affecting their finances too. 1 month, Bassy gave her money for soup ingredients and she nodded, promising to go to the market. But instead of going to Watts Market, Harriet went to the phone accessory shop, bought a new phone stand, LED ring light, and wireless microphone, telling Bassy that it was an investment in her brand. Bassy nearly collapsed. "Brand?" he shouted. "Which brand? Which yeye brand is that? Is TikTok paying you salary? We don't even have soup in this house and we are buying ring lights." But Harriet just rolled her eyes and replied, "You don't understand content. You don't understand all these content creation things. Think all these things are necessary now, eh?" Another day, Bassy's boss was coming to their house for dinner, a very important visit that could lead to his promotion. Bassy begged Harriet to help him prepare and be present. She agreed. But that evening, just as the boss arrived, Harriet was in the bedroom recording a "Get Ready With Me" video, shouting on top of her voice, trying on 5 different outfits and talking to her phone like it was her best friend. Bassy had to welcome his boss alone, sweating nervously and making excuses. "I'm sorry, sir. My wife is just finishing up something important," when she was actually shouting. "Which of these outfits do you really like? Recommend in the comment section." When Harriet finally emerged 1 hour later, she walked past them and stood in a corner, taking selfies. Bassy's boss looked at him with pity, and Bassy knew his promotion just walked out of the door. The patience was draining from Bassy's body like water from a broken clay pot. Marriage was not supposed to be this lonely. It was not supposed to be this hard. He had tried everything, buying her flowers, suggesting they turn off phones for one evening, even offering to make TikTok videos with her if that would bring their attention back. Nothing worked. Harriet's eyes were married to that screen, her heart to her followers, and her time to strangers who didn't even know her real name. The only moment she looked at Bassy properly were when she needed him to hold the phone and record while she performed. However, the final straw came one Saturday morning. Bassy's mother called crying to say she was sick. Strangers had taken her to the hospital. Bassy frantically told Harriet they needed to rush to the village immediately. Harriet heard him, nodded but said, "Baby, just give me 5 minutes. I need to post my morning routine video. I promised my followers." Bassy stood there in shock, car keys in hand, watching his wife arrange her skincare products on the table, positioning her phone, smiling at the camera while his mother lay in the hospital bed, surrounded by strangers. Something broke inside of him that moment. He quietly walked to where Harriet had set up the phone on the tripod, picked it up, and before she could react, he threw it straight through the open window. The phone flew like a bird and landed in another compound with a loud crash. Time stopped. Harriet's mouth fell open. For the first time in months, she looked directly at Bassy, actually looked at him, not through him. "Bassy!" she screamed, running to the window. "My phone! My content! My drafts! Do you know what you have just done? How many hours of video I had saved? My followers are waiting for my morning post." She was crying by now, real tears streaming down her face as she ran outside to retrieve the device. Bassy followed her calmly. "Your followers can wait. My mother cannot. I've been waiting for months for you to notice that I exist. Choose now. Harriet, is it going to be your phone or your marriage?" Harriet picked up the shattered phone. The screen cracked like a spider's web. She looked at it, then at Bassy, standing there with tears in his eyes, then back at the broken device in her hand. Something in her face changed. The neighbors had started gathering and whispering. Then Mrs. Okon, known for her loud mouth, shouted, "Ah, Harriet, you've been doing too much with that phone. Even me, sef, you don't greet me. The other day you walked past me. I greeted you and you fully responded." Another neighbor added, "The other day I saw her walking into a gutter because she was making video. Thank God I pulled her out. She didn't even turn to say thank you or even know who pulled her out." Harriet stood there, humiliated, looking at her broken phone like a broken dream. She looked at Bassey and whispered, "Oh, was it that bad? I didn't know it was this bad." "It was," Bassey replied. "I sleep next to you every night, but I'm lonelier than when I was single. My mother is in the hospital, and you wanted to post skincare routine? When did we get here, Alice? How?" That day, they didn't go to the village immediately. Instead, they sat in their sitting room and actually talked for the first time in months. Harriet cried and admitted she had become addicted. She had been chasing validation from strangers, counting likes and comments as if they were love. She had forgotten the man who has been sitting beside her, the man who cooked for her, who paid bills, who wanted her attention, and was the real content her life needed. Bassey also broke down. He confessed how rejected he had felt, how he had started doubting if she still loved him, how he had even been tempted to seek companionship elsewhere, but couldn't because his heart was with her. And even if the attention wasn't, they made a decision that day. No phones in the bedroom, one full day each week, completely phone free. And most importantly, Harriet would reduce her TikTok usage and seek help if she couldn't control herself. The journey back was not easy at all. Harriet would still instinctively reach for her phone, then remember and pull her hand back. She would see something funny, want to record it, then catch herself and instead just laugh and tell Bassey about it. Slowly, she started seeing the world without a screen between her and reality. 3 months later, on a quiet Sunday evening, they sat on their balcony drinking zobo together. Harriet's new phone, with agreed screen time and limits, buzzed with a notification. She glanced at it and smiled, but didn't pick it up. Instead, she held Bassey's hand and said, "You know what? I had 50,000 followers on TikTok, but none of them would have visited me in the hospital. None of them would have cooked for me. I almost lost the only real connection I had for fake ones." Bassey squeezed her hands, and I learned that sometimes love means breaking things, even expensive things, to save what's truly valuable. From the neighbor's compound, they could hear young girls recording TikTok videos. The same trending sounds Harriet used to chase. She heard them and smiled peacefully. Then turned to Bassey and said, "Let them enjoy. Me, I have found something better, a husband who is present, not just for content, but for real life." And that evening, as they sat together without any phones between them, watching the sun set over Calabar, they both realized that the best moments in life don't need to be recorded. They just need to be lived. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so by now. Like, share your thoughts in the comment section with me. Share this story out with your loved ones and your family. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so by now. Till I bring you another interesting African story, God bless you.